Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your start and sit video for Week 15, the first round of the playoffs for the tight end position. Again, full PPR and half PPR. Thank you for coming back. We're here to give you some advice and with some recommendations. Now, these are your obvious start at the tight end position. These are your tight ends you should be starting no matter what the situation is. There aren't obviously many because the tight end position is the hardest, but I like these guys this week. Again, whether it be matchup or, again, they just get a lot of targets their way. Now, the first tight end I recommend this week is going to be Greg Dulcich versus the Cardinals. Cardinals allow the league worst in yards and receptions to the tight end position. Also, Russell Wilson is expected to miss time this week, and Sutton also may miss. With that said, you got a quarterback that's going to be throwing short passes, maybe not anything deep down the field. Realistically, Judy's the other option for, Ripien, who realistically is not a great quarterback. So Dolchich's going to get a lot of options his way. And again, last 2 weeks, he's seeing an average 8 targets per game. And I expect similar results, 8 to 10 targets. He's going to get thrown to a lot. This is going to be an interesting game between the Broncos and the Cardinals because both quarterbacks are going to be out. You're playing with backups. Cardinals, I think, are still the better team, so they should be up in this one, which is going to force, obviously, passing, but I like Dolchich in this one. I know he's available in most leagues, so if you need to stream a tight end and you're trying to figure that out, he's one that I'm really, really enjoying as far as a good matchup. Another tight end I recommend this week is going to be Gerald Everett versus the Titans. Now, I'm sure we all hope Everett has the same performance that Evan Ingram just had this past weekend against the Titans, where he had over 39 points in fantasy. That's not going to happen. Now, if it does, that would be fantastic because I have Everett in a few of my leagues, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would greatly appreciate it, especially in your first round of the playoffs. But I still like this matchup. Even with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back, I still like this matchup. Last week alone, Everett still had 8 targets his way, and that was with both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back. This is the offense that we were all expecting and hoping it was going to be for the Chargers when they had their top weapons. So even though Everett is obviously not now realistically the third option, and even sometimes the fourth, depending on how active Eckler gets involved in the passing game, I still like him this week. He's going to have some really good matchups. The linebackers are a little aggressive for Tennessee. They kind of over pursue. They leave tight ends open. So I like him a lot this week. Another tight end I like this week is going to be Juwan Johnson versus the Falcons. Juwan is questionable. There's a good chance he might miss this game, so you got to keep an eye on it. But if he does play, I like this matchup because Troutman should miss this game. I think he's more expected to miss than Juwan is. So he's going to be really the few weapons, obviously, for Andy Dalton. He's been a favorite target of Andy Dalton as well, right? This is, again, a really good matchup against the Falcons. He's going to be a solid tight end one. Falcons are allowing 5 receptions and 58 yards to them, which is at least double-digit performance. Add in a touchdown. Bam, you've got yourself a really, really good tight end this week. And they're also allowing 13.6 points. So I like this as a good matchup. They know each other really well. Andy Dalton should be throwing him at least 5 to 7 times in this game. So I like him. Now, the first tight end I'm going to recommend as a sit is Evan Ingram versus the Cowboys. So off that high, there's going to be a lot of people putting Ingram in their lineup. And I totally understand and expect it. I caution you, though, because the Dallas Cowboys have only allowed 1 double-digit performance all season to the tight end, which is Higbee with 11 points. Since then, they've only allowed 7.6 points per game to the tight end and also keeping them under 50 receiving yards. And again, only one time have they ever allowed over 50 receiving yards. So this is a really tough matchup for Evan Ingram. This is going to be a game where I think receiver-wise, they might have some success. But the Dallas Cowboys defense has done a really good job. I'm looking at sitting Evan Ingram, even though he just had 39 points for me. Mark Andrews is the big name I'm going to mention as a sit. He was not in my obvious. Going against the Browns this week, I know we're all thinking it. I'm just going to be the one to say it. I'm not putting Andrews in. Andrews has struggled ever since Lamar Jackson got hurt. Last year, that wasn't the case. He actually played really well with Huntley in, but even then, Huntley kind of played half a game with Lamar hurt. And then when he tried to play, then he gets hurt with Anthony Brown in. It's been a lot. Huntley is expected to be back in this one, so Andrews might still have some potential. But on top of that, the Browns are also very good at stopping the tight end, keeping them to 8 points per game and under 48 receiving yards. So not only do you have a tough matchup, your quarterback play is obviously iffy. You're not sure how that's going to be. and you're just struggling. Andrews is not doing well. He's not separating. He's unfortunately been more in line with blocking to help the running game. So I'm looking at sitting Mark Andrews this week. The last time I recommend this week as far as a sit is going to be Foster Moreau versus the Patriots. Foster has not filled in very well since Waller's been out and due to injury. A lot of people had hoped it. I had hoped it. A lot of people went after him in waivers. At this point, he's back to waivers for most leagues. Patriots do a good job against the tight end, only allowing 5.8 points in the last 5 games. So it's a really tough matchup. There is some possible chance of Darren Waller coming back. He's designated from IR. But right now, there's nothing clear. I don't expect him to play this week. I think they're going to give one more week to then put him in. So Foster should still be the tight end 1 for the Raiders. But again, that Patriots defense does a really good job at covering tight ends. Their linebackers are very athletic. They're fast. They're quick. They can read. Offense is really well. So I'm putting him as a nice little sit. Now, sleeper, I've got Dawson Knox versus the Dolphins. The weather will play a factor in this one, but I actually think it benefits Dawson Knox and typically benefits receivers in general. If you guys have watched any snow games, receivers know where to go. Cornerbacks, linebackers don't. That's how they slip and fall, and now you got a good big play. Miami allows 12.9 points to the tight end position, also allowing 6 receptions per game as well. And that could happen a lot. This is going to be a game where, depending on how the weather is, it might be a dink and dunk type of game. Josh Allen does have the arm. He can throw down the field, but again, you don't want to make bad plays. This is a big game for both Miami and Buffalo, so they need to get this win. So again, I think it's going to be a smarter play. Now, Knox is very inconsistent, so I understand that, but he had a good game last week. I do expect that to be actually another one this week against the Dolphins just because of the poor play on their defensive side. Even whether it be weather or not, I still like that as a nice little sleeper. So those are my start, sits, and sleeper for the tight end position for week 15. Again, we're in the first round of the playoffs, so I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Make sure you guys get those lineups set up properly. Of course, we have 3 games on Saturday, games on Sunday, and a Monday night game, so be prepared for that, just like we'll have for next following weekend. So pay attention to that. If you guys haven't already, check out our other start sit videos, our wide receiver, running back, and quarterbacks. If you have questions, whether it be tight end or any other lineup questions, hit us in the comments down below. That's what we're here for. If you guys did enjoy the content and you found it useful, helpful, and you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell is on. That way you get notified every time we drop videos just like this. And of course, if you really did enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. And share it among your peers, maybe not your league mates, but at least your peers that are not going against you this week to help them as well in fantasy. All right? So check out our other start and sit videos, and I'll check you guys out next time.